All right, Zatima fans, welcome to my episode reviews for season 1. We're starting off episode 1, a new chapter. Now, I'm going to try to reduce the number of sound effects you'll hear, which is, me flipping the page, because one page is, containing the notes from the sneak peek we got, because I was in for a shock when I found out that the sneak peek we got last night was indeed a sneak peek. It was a condensed, you could say, abridged version of episode 1, because during the first commercial break, somebody messaged me. They're like, Jeremy, go to BET Plus. Episodes 1 and 2 are up right now. To my surprise, they were there. Not only that, episode 1 is actually about 31 or 32 minutes long. Episode 2 was 36 minutes. I'm like, holy crap. Because when I was watching a sneak peek, which I love, by the way, I was like, whoa, they ain't wasting no time. They, jump from one scene to the next. Like Fatima said she was going this place. The next scene, she was there. It was nighttime. It was daytime when they were moving out of Fatima's place. And next thing you know, it's nighttime when Zach's playing basketball with the guys. And it's the next morning. Fatima's going off to work. Then it's nighttime again when they're having the dinner with their friends. So I'm like, damn, the pacing is out of this world. But then I watched the extended cut this morning on BET Plus. And to be honest, it's not that much change. It's just like there was obviously an extension of a lot of the scenes, more dialogue, more character interaction. And I'm here for it. I really loved it. And as a result, I do feel like it's appropriate to give this episode a 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was great. It was great. So, in terms of timeline stuff, there are, nods to Sistas continuity, different characters and whatnot. I did a full video explaining, but the short answer is, as of right now in Zatima, they are at the very least 2 weeks ahead of where we are in Sistas right now. So keep that in mind. So before going further, make sure you take a moment, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe. Seriously, please do. I want to get to 1 million subscribers someday. And hit the bell icon and select all. That way you are up to date whenever I post content on the channel. Trust and believe, now that Zatima's out, and in a couple of weeks you got 4 more Tyler Perry shows coming out again, I want to be busy. And if you want to keep up with the videos, you got to be here to listen to what I got to say. So subscribe. Now, we start off the episode, a new chapter, with Fatima moving out of her old apartment. And to be honest, I can see why it's like, come on, Fatima. I can see a lot of fans being like, come on, Fatima. At this point, are you really still nervous about everything, going on and whatnot? I mean, she's giving up her own place. And in the extended cut, aka the BET, and look, get BET Plus. I know people don't want to, but just do it. Just do it. I mean, not only are you supporting black content, but you're helping boost the numbers of Zatima. And look, it's 2022. I'm not saying what websites, but I know you all know of 1 or 2 or more different websites online that will post the episodes on there for you to watch for free. Look, that if Marvel movies can be released in the theaters for the premiere to the general public, and then not even a few hours later on the internet, somebody posts a very good quality recording of the film for people to watch, it's going to happen with, BET Plus content. But I encourage you, like, for example, if you were able to watch episode 1 last night, I'm glad you did, because you helped up the numbers for Zatima. I haven't checked yet to see what the ratings were. If I'm able to find it, I'll definitely let you know. But it shows the network and the people behind the scenes that we want this content. So if you're able to watch even one, just, well, actually, I'm sorry, not just one, but if you were able to watch the live sneak peek, that's great. But if you're able to watch BET Plus, even if you can't watch it this week, or if you're waiting for all 10 episodes to come out, go to BET Plus, stream it on there to help the numbers, to make, the network go, okay, we'll bring you even more Zatima. So again, that's my little PSA for supporting black content. All right, now let me get to the review, because I know y'all want me to get to it now. Hell, it's almost 5 minutes in. I done lost my place where I was. But in any case, the episode starts with Fatima and Zach, standing in Fatima's apartment, and, the movers are packing up everything. A majority of her stuff is going into storage. I can relate since I still have to pay monthly on the storage building in town until, I get my own house situation settled. But, yeah, she's still nervous, and this is a lot fast. And, as the episode goes on, it's going to be like, yeah, it's a bit too much too soon. She's technically keeping her apartment, but she's going to rent it out. It's like, I'm going to bring in some income, that way I'm not just the one, living off of you, aside from what she makes at work. Zach tells her to just jump ship, but I agree with Fatima, and I said this when this was in Sistas Season 4, it is a smart move. I mean, hell, even if she doesn't move back into her new place for whatever reason, at least she's making some income by renting out her place. Now, that's really what the scene is about. I think this is just, to those who have not watched Sisters for whatever reason, this was a great scene to kind of establish, again, hey, these two have great chemistry. And she doesn't want to rush kids, we're going to have a little Zach and a little Fatima. No. You're going to have to put some ice on this finger first, put a ring on it, then we'll talk about that. But he just wants her to envision the future. It was just a great scene. And it was cute when they were walking out and she was like, bye, old apartment. And she hugged the kitchen island and Zach had to drag her out of there. It was a good scene. The theme song, I'll do a separate video on that. I liked it. I wish it was longer though. I think it was about give or take 30-ish seconds. The visuals are what make it pop. The lyrics, I listened to it at least 10 times by this point. The lyrics are so Zatima. They relate so well to the characters. It's a bop. Would I put it above Bruh? I don't know. I think that it's a difference in tone and energy. Bruh definitely has the Martin aesthetic, the Martin theme song. It definitely fits into that kind of genre. Zatima is a more mellow song and meaningful because the lyrics relate to Zach and Fatima so well. The visuals, again, they're good. I'll do a whole separate video on that. All right, let's get to it. So, before they actually leave, Zach, wants to, have me time with Fatima later that night. But she's like, oh no, I'm meeting with my girls because, they want to meet you and they haven't met you yet. Okay. So we waste no time. It's about, probably morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is. They're moving Fatima out. We skip right to that night when Fatima goes to meet up with her girls, Angela and Belinda, to talk about, her new relationship, and great chemistry. So Belinda and Angela want to know where their friend has been because Fatima's been an awful friend. She's been MIA for the past few weeks, aka the past few seasons, if you will, with Zach. And they're excited to meet him. And the thing that I really wanted to highlight is notice how Fatima's face lit up when she was talking about Zach, and it had nothing to do with his money. She pretty much went down a list of all the reasons he makes her feel good, and money never came up once. And her friends are happy for her. They're excited that hey, can't wait to meet him. And of course, it's brought up that Angela is dating someone new too. So if this is indeed the same Angela that, was the girlfriend of Jake and Sisters, then apparently they must have broken up at some point, and now she's seeing someone new. As she states, she had to step outside of her race in order to find love. Belinda's like, shoot, I'll be down for that as well in order to, find some, to get sprung like Fatima. So they agree to, have like, a dinner tomorrow night in order to get to know Fatima's new man. All right, so now we go over to the basketball court, and you got Zach. You got his two guys from, growing up, Nathan and Tony, and Bryce. Who's Bryce? Well, he's Angela's new man, and I guess you could say the new Jake, so to speak, because as the episode establishes, as well as episode 2, pretty much everything Jake was to Zach and Sisters in regards to like the inside guy on how to do stocks and whatnot, apparently that's him. Maybe this will be explained in Sisters Season 5, like maybe Jake is, introduces Zach to Bryce because for whatever reason Jake doesn't work with him anymore. I don't know. I did a separate video on that and, you know, give my thoughts. But regardless, Bryce is there. And the dynamic between the guys is hilarious because it looks like Bryce and Zach beat the hell out of Tony and Nathan on the basketball court, and they got to pay up. And Bryce pretty much can't keep a lid on it. So he pretty much blabs that, you know, Zach is with someone new because the guy's like, you know what, man, y'all, you know, we out of practice. I mean, Tony was like, y'all out of practice. What's going on here? It's like, you know, hey, Nathan's like, hey, you know, home stuff. I've been busy. What about you, Zach? You ain't been around. And then that's when Bryce lets it loose. And the guys pretty much give him a hard time. It's funny because Bryce is all supportive. It's like, you know, hey, finding love is a good thing. Maybe get married and whatnot. And despite being the only married one in the group, Nathan is definitely the backup choir for Tony as he goes in on Zach about how you shouldn't be tying yourself down and settling so quickly because you just got some money. I mean, when you were broke, what did that lead to you? Karen, and that relationship was crap. So there's no need of rushing into something again. Why don't you, you know, play the field, see what else is out there? And we already lost, let me see here. Kevin, we lost Riley, we lost John. What do you mean lost? I'm standing right here. Love, man. We done lost in the love. So again, Bryce is there, you know, co-signing Zach's happiness while the other two just ain't here for it. And it's funny because they must have noticed that Nathan's wife Lori had shown up, because when Nathan's, you know, giving his 2 cents about the whole marriage thing, marriage is awful and this and that, he's just going on about how marriage sucks. And Zach kind of looks up and goes, go ahead, say it again. Say it louder for, you know, why marriage isn't for you. And then Tony's trying to stop, Nathan, Nathan, man, don't do it. Then Nathan, he just keeps going and going and going in, and Lori pops up and he's like, oh shit, that was funny. He pretty much got set up for that. It was like a mouse to cheese, and Lori ain't having it. It's like, what are you doing out here? You left me all day with the kids. You out here losing money. He lost $10. I just love the fact that the guys were like roasting him, and he gets basically Lori did everything but grab him by his ear and drag him to the car. You're sitting in the back with the kids, man. Look, these guys, this chemistry was great. It was a good scene. I really enjoyed this scene. All right, so from there, Zach is back home, and Fatima comes back from her girls' night out, and the wardrobes in this show are made for Fatima look great. So she pretty much explains how the girls are ready to meet them. So tomorrow night, friends going to come over. They'll introduce, themselves, and Zach will get to know them, and they'll get to know Zach. Pretty much get that sister circle of approval, if you will. And Fatima mentions that she wants a little bit of her in the apartment, like some of the paint and whatnot. She wants to make it a little bit or a lot about, basically, look, it's their home. She wants to have some of herself in the, I guess you could say, decorations and whatnot. And that makes sense. But didn't she say that she was going to help Zach pick out stuff? Or did Zach just surprise her? I don't know. But regardless, I think the place looks great as it is. That's just me. That's me, like, hypothetically, if I get a house within the next year, Lord, I hope it's a lot sooner than that. Let's say I get a house, then I meet someone. First of all, I ain't rushing to move no girl in with me, because I'll pull a straight Tony. Play the field. No, for real. But if when I get a house, I'm in no rush to settle down. I want to enjoy my own space. And then to have a woman come in saying, hey, I want to do this and that. If we're living together, I can understand that, because it's our home, not just mine. But at the same time, if I'm kind of attached to how I got things, I'll be a little iffy. But I don't know. Fatima didn't make it seem like she wanted to remodel the entire place. She just wanted to paint it. And I'm with Zach, like, hell, I just painted it. All right. So, then they go upstairs, and boy, let me tell you, the BET sneak peek did not show you this. They gave you a sneak peek, but they ain't show you nothing. All I got to say is, wow, there was some grocery eating up in there. But in any case, aside from that hot, steamy scene, I'm like, that's why this shit is rated MA. Zach and Fatima, they sit up in bed and, oh, I love you so much. And Zach is like, well, if you knew how much I loved you. And, it's just one of those things where they had this moment and they talk about what they mean to each other and whatnot. And, Lord have mercy. She's talking about going to the pole tomorrow, which is, double talk for the strip club, in order to talk with Zach's alleged baby mama Heather, since the DNA test still hasn't happened yet. So it's funny because we know that she wants to have a meeting, if you will, at 6 p.m. So basically invite Heather to come over at 6 p.m. to take the DNA test. And she'll persuade her, I'm going to take a bath or a shower or whatever. Stay with me. Wait, stay with me? Oh, no, now I can tell you in love. Well, what do you mean by that? You know how much, I say I love you all the time. But yeah, we'll see how long, that sticks. So that's kind of a running theme in the episode, that Fatima is iffy. She's still iffy on whether or not Zach will grow tired of her. But I love the fact that, she goes on to say, stay with me. Guys usually, lump over saying, oh, I'm tired, get off me. But it shows you how much Zach has changed, because in season 1 of Sistas, even Karen was like, I need somebody who's there for me, not just when they, bust a nut and then they get up out of bed. I need somebody to hold me after we make love. And look at what Zach wants to do with Fatima compared to how Karen described how Zach was with her. There's a difference, folks. All right, so then we go to the next morning. Fatima is heading to work, and she spooks Zach as he's in the trunk of his car. And she looks amazing in the black outfit and whatnot. And it turns out, so where's my car? Oh, it's over there. Zach done bought her a new car. At first, I thought the license plate said Fatima, but then when I looked at it again in slow motion, I'm like, oh, it didn't. It just had letters and numbers. HQ2X871. This isn't a Marvel film or anything, so it's not like I can use that number to reference a comic book or something. But it was just something when I saw it the first time last night. Wait, does it say Fatima? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It would be funny if it did, though. But in any case, Fatima mentions how I'm going to work, then I'm stopping by the pole, if you will, to talk with Heather. And it's interesting because of the fact that you just look at how Zach is doing things now. It's funny when you compare Zach getting Fatima a car to when Gary got Andy a car. It's just crazy, because I don't think that, Zach is going to have cops following Fatima to stop her, pull her over, and then do a musical. Yeah. All right. So from there, we go over to Bryce pulling up, just like Jake does, and he just wanted to warn him because, hey, I just got information that somebody from the SEC is coming to question you, and I just want to let you know, face to face, but I think you're ready for it. It just kind of surprised me how quickly they're doing it. And, Zach says, man, I don't want to go to jail and everything. I just got this new life. You're like, hey, don't worry. Just do what I told you to do, and you're going to be cool, So I really have nothing else to say. Bryce is doing exactly what Jake does in Sistas, reassuring Zach, look, you're smart, you're intelligent, you got this, keep your cool, it's going to be good. I mean, hell, he even tells Zach, like, hey, if you need, like, to meet at my place or actually meet at my office or, meet somewhere and I'm there with you and the SEC agent, then we can do that. And Zach is very appreciative. And they have some back and forth banter about, different Japanese versus black terminology, what they can and can't use. So it was a comedic scene. It was good stuff. All right, so we go over to the strip club. Guys, again, we ain't wasting no time. It was Fatima getting ready to go to work in the morning, and now it's obviously that evening when she's off of work to go confront Heather. So apparently Fatima knows the bodyguard. He lets her go back to the stripper room as they prep to go on stage and whatnot, and she confronts Heather. It's funny because one of the girls says, oh no, you ain't dancing up in here, this ain't amateur night. And Fatima very calmly and professionally not even confronts but approaches Heather to talk about the DNA test, and amazingly it hasn't happened yet. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, Zatima is about a couple of weeks ahead in the timeline from where Sistas is now. So Heather, despite being pretty cordial, telling Zach, look, this is your son, but yeah, we could take a DNA test, she's dragging her feet. Apparently she wants him to pay child support first, which doesn't make sense because of the $37,000. And then she'll take a test until Fatima's like, boom, nope, face to wall. But basically come over to the house tomorrow at 6 for the test. And then she leaves. Oh, she leaves. All right. Now, after that, we go over to Zach's place, and they're getting ready for the dinner. Because Zach tells Fatima about the SEC thing, and she's still iffy about whether or not to trust Bryce. So again, we're this is the Jake situation, if he's trustworthy or not, because he works with Gary. And Fatima is reassuring Zach that, look, you took a chance because you had to, because if you didn't, you'd still be broke at the airport. Well, technically he wouldn't have been broke, because let's say the stock thing never happened. He would have had the $20,000, and from there he would have continuously made money through chain breakers and paid off Karen. But yeah, he wouldn't be where he is now, long story short. But they have an extended talk in the full episode where Zach talks about how, you know, Fatima's nervous because she's shaking as she's, you know, setting the table and making sure the couch and everything is right. But at the same time, mentions, so how are you going to be when I meet your family? Oh, no, we ain't talking about that anytime soon. And then it's like, he brings up his family and the fact that his family ain't shit because all these years and they've never reached out to him. But as soon as he's make the come up, they blow up his phone every day. So that's interesting foreshadowing. Just keep that in the back of your mind as we go throughout season 1. So, Bryce and Angela come over. They're the first two to come over. They introduce, you know, it's like, oh, hey, because Bryce and Zach talked earlier about how they're both stuck in situations where they can't really have an extended meeting of questioning about the SEC stuff because, you know, Fatima has friends coming over to meet me. Oh, yeah, that's interesting because, you know, my girl, she wants me to go to like a double date with her to, you know, meet her friends' new boyfriend, and boom, there they are. And notice how touchy-feely Bryce seems to be with Zach, you know, always putting his hand on the shoulder, that kind of thing. That's going to be relevant later on in the season. But in any case, they talk about the SEC stuff again. I actually jumped ahead in the notes when I mentioned like Bryce talking about, hey, if you need me to be there, if you need to meet in my office or wherever, when you have to sit down for the questioning, let me know. But Angela and Fatima talk about, you know, their new guys and whatnot, because Angela's like, wait, you don't like Bryce? Oh, well, he works with Gary. And it's like, oh, Gary. Okay, I see. So, you know, they all just sit down, drink wine, get to know each other. And the door, there's a knock on the door, or was it the doorbell, whatever it was. Bryce is like, oh, I see wedding bells. And then it's like, hey, man, don't be pushing that on me. Don't be saying marriage. And then Belinda comes over. Zach slams the door, but, you know, Fatima makes him answer it. She comes in. She can't stand the fact that her bestie is dating this trash. And Fatima's like, wait, you know each other? We fucked. Wait, oh my God. At the beginning of the episode, I said I wouldn't say that. Or was that episode 2 review? But regardless, yeah. And that's the end of the episode. Holy crap. So yeah, folks, this was a great first episode. I'm excited to see what the rest of the season is going to bring. But let me know your thoughts on a new chapter. I think this is a great start to the new series. Make sure you take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description, and I'll catch you all in the next one.